Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dear students, today we learn about the lesson Kashmir, the Garden of India. Let us come to the pre-reading activity. Govind, hello friends, look there. The skater of our Eco Club has been filling newspaper clipping. Mary, hello Raghu, what does that paper cutting contain? Rahim, can you recall a few months ago we had discussed UNESCO's heritage tag to 39 sites of the Western Ghats and Mary, sure, there was a lot of opposition to this tag. Certain state governments, NGOs and even residents of the 39 sites were opposed to the heritage tag. Govind, forget those oppositions. Now it is official. Our parliament has accepted Dr. Kasturi Rangan committee report. Out of 1,64,000 square kilometers of the Western Ghats, around 60,000 square kilometers of sensitive zone has been declared as protected zone. Rahim, it is a good decision. Western Ghats have very rare animal species and beautiful nature. Govind, there is a need to protect the flora and fauna of the Western Ghats. If it is not protected, we will have to go to Switzerland to see what a forest is. Mary, okay. Anyway, today Madam is doing the lesson about beautiful Kashmir. Rahim, yes, Kashmir is famous for its beautiful and natural scenery and varieties of flora and fauna throughout the world. Mary, Kashmir boasts some of the beautiful flowering meadows and snow-capped peaks with abundance of natural beauty. Valley has earned the nickname the Switzerland of India. Come, let us learn about Kashmir. Kashmir is a garden of beauty surrounded by a wall of snow-covered mountains. We enter the valley of Kashmir at Baramulla. From the bridge over the river Jhelum, we can look north and see the peak Nanga Parbat standing like a huge sentinel pointing to the sky. At Baramulla, we borrowed a houseboat which is to be our dwelling for the next few months. We are then towed 20 miles up to the Jhelum till we came to Srinagar. Srinagar, the capital of Kashmir, the city of sun, laying like a jewel in the center of the valley. About half of the people living there are Muslims and other half Hindus. They appeared good-natured and happy-go-lucky. The houses of the city are built of wood and bricks. Most of the houses have a very dilapidated appearance, but they are very picturesque all through summer months. For the roof of many of them are covered with flowers. Some have tulips, some wild iris and some others red poppies. From early spring to late autumn, the flowers of Kashmir passes in a procession of beauty. First of all came the delicate pink almond blossom. As soon as it has shed its petals, the white cherry blossom and the pink-white apple blossom make their appearance. Then came the irises of royal purple, growing as high as man's waist and filling whole fields with their stately blooms. Next appear the Persian lilac. This is smaller than the English variety and grows in a greater profusion. Then summer begins. The air is filled with the perfumes of roses and walls are gardens and are covered with their cluster of crimson, snow white, scarlet and creamy yellow flowers. outside the city, in the fields, blowflies and red poppies grow among the wheat and fields of snow. Yellow mustard stretched like dazzling cloth of gold. The Jahlam flows through the city of Srinagar and with its canals cut it up into so many islands, so as to give it the name of the Venice of India. As the sun melts the snow on the mountain tops, the snow water flows down the valley and causes the river to rise and supply her life-giving waters to the fields and gardens. Later in the season, when the river goes down, the flowers droop and the grass became withered. But fruits then take the place of flowers, and the shops are filled with luscious pears, peaches, nectarines, and pearls, and later on with rosy-cheeked apples. The people are then seen everywhere drying the fruit to be stored for winter use. The floating gardens are unique. One end of the lake is reserved especially for them. Their owners pay no rent for them, for they literally make the ground for the gardens themselves. First of all, they make a sort of platform of the reeds and anchor it to stakes. Then they bring the mud from the bottom of the lake and place it in a little heaps on the platform. Finally, the plant on them the seedlings of vegetables, mostly cucumber. The garden requires no watering and can easily be tended from the end of a boat which extends for them. These vegetables are also dried for winter use, being cut up into strips and dried in the sun. When the season is over and we turn once more to the plains of the fragrance of Kashmir's garden is still with us, and the memories of their beauty fills us with quiet joy. So, this is the lesson Kashmir, the garden of India. I hope you understand this lesson by watching this video. Okay, Allah Hafiz.